We have the NFL recap for week 4 of this NFL season, starting with the later game between the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints. I had the Cowboys win that game, the Saints won that game. Dallas Cowboys gonna end up losing to every contender out there, like I predicted before. The only one I didn't predict them to beat was the Saints without Drew Brees. Dak Prescott throws 22 completions, 22 combined points during this game. The Saints find a way to win without Drew Brees. It's Brees that equals 22. Dallas failed to score the game winning field goal for the 13th and final points of the game. The Saints defense was the story this game. Elliott only rushes for 35 yards against a team that is named the Saints, a symbolic Jesuit logo of Catholicism, because Catholic equals 35. The story was really all about the Saints for this game. It is also Dak Prescott that had 33 completions for 22 yards. On the New Orleans Saints side, notice how Teddy Bridgewater has 30 passing attempts and 23 completions. He makes 23 completions without Drew Brees. Teddy Bridgewater threw for 30 attempts against the Cowboys, because it is Cowboys that has Gematria of 30. Kamara rushes for 69 yards. It's the Jesuit order that has Gematria of 69 when we're talking about the Saints. And the Jesuit occult, you know, that has controlled society all throughout centuries. That Gematria of 69 is significant as well for what the New Orleans Saints logo represents. Is the power of the Vatican and the many Jesuit owners that you see all across the NFL. The Jaguars defeated the Broncos a score of 26-24. They scored 26 points with quarterback Gardner Minshew in comeback fashion. It is comeback that has Gematria of 26. It is Gardner Minshew the third. It is Minshew the third that has a big game against the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos also has Gematria of 64. Now, when you go to the box score for the game, you go to the Denver Broncos. Joe Flacco had 22 completions for 38 attempts. It's the Jaguars that has Gematria of 33, and believe it or not, you see many 22s relating the quarterbacks this week. It's Flacco that has Gematria of 22. 0 for 4 for Denver, looking for that first win. How about the scripted performance by the Bears defense against the Minnesota Vikings, aka VI, 6 Kings? Kirk Cousins fails to get the job done. He has not beat a winning team. The Vikings are 2-2. There's a total of 22 points scored this game. It is Kirk that has Gematria of 22. I want you to notice that it is the 6 Kings. The Vikings is what it's represented when you break down the Roman numeral for 6 in addition to Kings. The Minnesota Vikings only score 6 points against the Bears. We see many 27s all across the NFL. It's because in Gematria it is Miami that has Gematria of 27. You see another team scoring 27 points yet again. It's a rigged NFL. The most common score is going to be 27 because this year's Super Bowl is over at Miami. The Seahawks score 27 points. It is in Gematria. It is Miami that equals 27. The Cardinals used to be based in Chicago. It's Chicago that equals 37. The Seahawks next opponent is against Los Angeles. It's Los Angeles that has Gematria 37. Truly a scripted 27-10 victory. A tip pass going for 6 for Jadeveon Clowney. How does Jadeveon have to do with this? You know, Jadeveon has Gematria of 71 and 26. He tips a pass for 6 against Murray, against Kyler Murray. I think Kyler has Gematria of 71-26. There it is. The scripted play, pick 6 for Jerry Von Clowney. All decoded. Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Rams. Let's break down the individual comparisons for this game. We see many 22s again for this week, for that past week. Kyler Murray throwing for 22 completions as well. You know, it's just pretty interesting to know. We see many of these 22s for the quarterbacks this week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers scored 55 points. It was completely scripted. The Buccaneers scored 55 points over at the city of Angeles. In Gematria, the practice of coding letters and words into numbers, it is Los Angeles, the city of angels, has Gematria 55. You know, they scored 55 points over at the city of angels, Los Angeles. Jameis Winston scoring 54 points this game before the final extra point after. When you break down the box score for this game for Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston with 41 attempts over at Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles, California has a Pythagorean Gematria of 41. It is Ronald Jones II that had a total of 19 attempts. LA Rams has Gematria of 19. You see right there in the Gematria calculator. On the Rams side, Jared Goff, 45 completions. It's Bucks that has Gematria of 45. You know, scripted fashion. The interceptions really help out this game. You know, Gurley and company are shut down or whatever, and it's really impacting the team. Melvin Gordon did not play but was activated. It is Melvin that has Gematria of 30. You see the LA Chargers scored 30 points against the Dolphins. Nothing to say much for this game. The Panthers win the game with 26 points. Combined, the Panthers score 16 points without Cam Newton. It's 16. It's Cameron that equals 33. They're finding a way to win. 16 points for the Patriots against Josh Allen. Against the Bills. Because in Gematria, the practice coin letters and words into numbers, we have the Bills having Gematria of 33, and that's who the Patriots scored 33 points, scored 16 points against. You can say it was scripted for sure. Matt Barkley playing for the Bills. Matt equals 54. He comes into play for Josh Allen. Bills equals 54. This is the year of Super Bowl 54. And I want you to notice Tom Brady statistics too. Tom Brady throws 18 completions against the Bills. It's Bills that has Gematria of 18. This is how your game is truly scripted. Super Bowl's over at Miami, Florida. The Patriots are 4-0. Sony Michel with 63 yards this game. Miami, Florida has Gematria of 63. And then we go to the receiving side. James White with 57 receiving yards, a leading receiver. 57, that's the same Gematria of Super Bowl. You guessed it. On the Buffalo side, Matt Barkley with 16 completions, 44 completions combined for the two quarterbacks. It is champions that has Gematria 44. The Patriots are truly the champions. Oakland Raiders score 31 points. The Raiders are now 2-2 with quarterback Derek Carr. It's Carr that has Gematria of 22. Total 22 points this game. That was very significant in a really big way. Derek Carr. How about the Indianapolis side for Jacoby Brissett and company? 31-24. There's 55 points for this game. 31's the reflection of 13. It's a lot like LA equaling 13. That's where the Raiders used to be based at. But the scripted game of the day, the Chiefs against the Lions. The Chiefs' 33rd points were the touchdown this game. Chiefs 33, Lions 30. It's Patrick that equals 33 in Gematria. 64 combined points, 34-30. Kansas City Chiefs equals 64. It's Michigan that has Gematria of 64. This was a scripted comeback for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to remain undefeated. Patrick Mahomes II is 24th completion. It's Lions. It's loser that equals 24. We see a lot of 24 with the Detroit Lions. 24-23, Redskins over Giants. 27 combined points. Haskins going to make his first start against the Dolphins. Haskins was making his debut against Daniel Jones. He came into the game for Case Keenum. The Eagles are now 2-2 after beating the Packers. And when we go to the Philadelphia Eagles game, this was, in fact, a scripted comeback. We have Carson Wentz throwing 27 attempts. Miami equals 27. Jordan Howard rushes for 87 yards and the 2 touchdowns for the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles has Gematria of 87. 34 completions, 34 points. I'm starting to wonder what 54 is truly all about. Aaron Rodgers completes 53 passes. He threw 53 passes, but this was a comeback win for Philadelphia. And how big was the deficit? It was 10-0, I know for sure. Yeah, it was 10-0 Green Bay over Philadelphia, and then 51 combined points the rest of the way. Nothing much there to break down. And now we have all the games really for this week. We have 24-34. The Titans losing it. Maybe Titans that has Gematria of 24, I want to say, possibly. Tennessee has Gematria of 34. And 34 combined points this game. Tennessee was the winner. Then the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Baker's 20 and 30. And Lamar Jackson could have ended the game with 33 attempts against Cleveland. It didn't end up that way. Baker Mayfield and the Browns avenge a Week 17 loss from last year. Cleveland is on its way to facing San Francisco next. There wasn't much to break down, but 25 points for the Ravens. I want to say it's Lamar that has Gematria of 25. It isn't. Okay, that's good to know. But this concludes the video here, the recap for Week 4 of the NFL season.